I just scared my cat. All right, welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute and there's just no excuse. There's no real excuse. So today I'm gonna do my April wrap up, hella late, and my May TBR. So just to let you guys know what's going on this month and what happened last month. You hear my cat? That's my cat putting in his opinions. All right, so first off, let's start off with the books that I read last month. So last month I finished a total of 3 books, which surprised me. I thought I only read like 1. So, but there's a reason why I think I only read 1. So let's start off with the first book, and that is Become a Better Version of Yourself by Ben Langton. This was a self-help book. I started it so that I could motivate myself to get kind of back into working out. Well, not really back into working out because I never really stopped, but just motivate me in that sense. Just to better myself, not just so I can like get fit, but like just so I can get kind of a hold of my life as a whole. You know, that's what happened. So I read that book. I rated it a 2 stars. That book was just not my piece of cake. I literally read that book for about a month. I read it for like a month. And it took me forever to get through because it was so repetitive. Like, it literally, okay, so it was, first off, it was written in like bullet points type. So it had like subject, subject, subject. Now, I feel like that would have been good. I could have gone through that. I wasn't a fan of it, but I got through it, right? What I really didn't like was that every 3rd bullet point, or not even 3rd bullet point, like every new chapter, new subject that they were kind of discussing, they would mention some of the same things that they mentioned before. And it got to the point where it was like, this book could have been like 2 pages, 3 pages max. And they stretched it out in 100 and whatever pages. I forgot how many pages it was. I was just not a fan. I just did not like that. Why would I want to keep reading the same thing over and over? The only reason I finished it was because it was really easy to get through. So I was like, I literally like jammed like half of that book in like a few hours, because I was like, let me just finish it. Like, I'm already halfway, you know? The only reason I didn't give it a 1 star was because it was helpful. The points it made were helpful. Second book I read was Fairest of Them All. And this book was so good. It was so good. Oh my God. All right, so this tells the story of the evil queen of in Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. And she is my favorite villain. Also, that is my favorite Disney princess. I had to pick this up, you know? It was so good. So it basically tells the story of the evil queen, of when she, you know, growing up, who she was, who her father was, and what he did for a living, and how his relationship with her was. And then it kind of explained how or why she became evil and why she hated Snow White so much. And not just even Snow White, there was so many other things that I learned of the story of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, like behind the scenes, because you get the story from her perspective, you know what I mean? So it's really interesting. If you're a Disney fan, you should definitely pick this up, and I'm so excited to pick up the next ones. I did rate this a 3 stars. Why? Because it was good, but it wasn't like mind-blowing. But it was good. No regrets. Next book was fantastic. Great. Cherry on top of the month. Loved it. Oh my God. Read it for the late night book club, which is hosted by Elias, Noel, and Joel. And it's so good. I can leave it linked down below if you guys want to go follow it on Instagram. But they do a live show every month at the end of the month, or yeah. And they talk about whatever book they read that month. And this book was it. The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This book was so good. I loved it. It was fantastic. It was great. It like took a hold of my heart and brought it with it through so many emotions, and I was okay with it, and it was fine, and it was totally good. I will warn you that there is a lot of like machismo, and I said that in Spanish for a reason. There's a lot of derogatory things towards women that are being said by the men very casually and very frequently. That's the word I was looking for. Very casually and very frequently. So just a heads up, to be honest, like if you're a Latino or Latinx or Latina or Hispanic, I felt like it was just a conversation between my uncles. I know that sounds terrible, and it is terrible, but the sexism was just like, I just quickly skipped over that, you know? Just like, it was unnecessary, definitely, but you also have to remember the time and place this was set, the heritage, and just that, okay? It was a long journey, but it was so good. Like, I never not wanted to pick this up. Like, I always wanted to be reading. I would be working, I'd be thinking about this book. I would be in the shower, I'd be thinking of this book. I was like, why didn't I get an audiobook so I can listen to this? But I heard the audiobook was kind of annoying, so I'm kind of glad I didn't do that. Anyways, this book was so good. I gave it 4 stars. It was great. I want to reread it. It was a good time. Those were the books that I read in the month of April, way back then. But I do have quite a list for this next month, and I'm really excited to get to it. So I'm gonna go over some of the books that I really, really hope I get to this month. First off, we're gonna start off with a reread, okay? Okay. It's Call Me By Your Name. I've talked about this book. You've heard me talk about this book. You know I'm not a fan. So I'm giving it another chance. I said I was gonna give it another chance, and I'm giving it another chance. I'm giving you another chance. I already kind of know that I'm not gonna be feeling it, but I said I was gonna give it another chance, so I'm gonna give it another chance. I keep my word. I have little tabs here, so I'm kind of excited to go through those and either take them out or just see what I thought. Actually, I was thinking of actually going back in this with some more tabs and tabbing it up. So I'm really excited to read this book next month. But the next book that I want to read is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Klein. By Helen. And it's a love story, and I'm excited to check it out. I've heard so many good things. So many people have been saying how good it is, and I'm just excited to be able to finally get to it. It's been on my TBR for so long, and I'm so excited to finally get into this guy. Next book that I want to talk about, that I hope I get to this month, not a priority, but I do want to read it, so I do want to include it. It's Running with Scissors by Austin Barotz. This book has been recommended to me by some friends, and I'm super excited to be able to get into it. It's a memoir, and I heard it's pretty fucked up, so I'm pretty juiced to get into it. I don't know why I like things that are fucked up, but I do. So here we go. Next book that I want to read. I don't have it here physically, but it is Misery by Stephen King. And before you say anything, I know I didn't like the last book I read by him. It was DNF'd. I simply and 100% apologize for that if that like broke your heart or whatever. But I have started Misery, and so far so good. So we'll see how it ends. Okay. But I do plan on finishing this book this month. Hopefully I get to it. Hopefully I finish it. I haven't been turned off by anything yet. Nothing has freaked me out yet. And I really hope it stays that way. That's all I gotta say. If you guys don't know what the book is about, it's about a woman who kidnaps her favorite author and then keeps him captive and like tortures him into writing a continuation of her favorite series he wrote. That's all I know so far. That bitch is crazy. Anyways, moving on. Next book I want to read is actually a classic. I'm trying to put in more classics in here, even though I'm still reading Jane Eyre. I know, I'm taking a minute, and there's a reason for that. It's because I read it on my iPad. That's why I forgot about it, to be completely honest. If I read anything on here, it has to be completely and totally fantastic for me to be able to remember to pick it up again. Because if it's a book, I carry it with me. I leave it on my counter, so when I get home, I'm like, yo, I want to read that. But if it's in my iPad, there's no reminder. Like, there's nothing that really brings me in. There's no cover. There's no anything exciting. I couldn't use any tabs, so that doesn't remind me. But yeah, that's why it was taking so long with Jane Eyre. But I do want to read Great Expectations. I heard good things. I'm excited. It's an exciting time. So fingers crossed I get to that. The next book. Give me a second. Okay. Next book is in here. I'm so excited. I just got this, so I'm like, yes, let's do it. So there's two books here that I really want to get to. Also, not priorities. I feel like no book is a priority except for like specific ones because I want to get through them really badly. But I actually got this book. This is the book, one of the selections for this month. It's Things We Lost to the Water, a novel by Eyre. It says, a stunning debut novel about an immigrant Vietnamese family that settles in the New Orleans and struggles to remain connected to one another as their lives are inextricably reshaped. Sign me up for anything that has to do with immigration or immigrants or anyone just moving literally from state to state. I don't know why that fascinates me. Maybe it's the Sagittarius in me that wants to explore, and I just do it through books because I'm poor and I live here. But I'm really excited to read this. Yeah, when I read the synopsis, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get that one. I read through all the other ones and I was like, no, I'm going back to that one. So I got this one. So hopefully I get to read that this month. Next book. Also a book that's been in my TBR load. The Vanishing Half. You probably heard of it. It's an award winner. Book of the Year 2020. Look at it. Right there. It's right there. I'm so excited to pick this up. I was literally at Barnes & Noble's with my friend, and she was looking for Mother's Day gift for her grandma and her mom. And I pointed it out and I told her what I heard it was about, which is about twins. One lives her life as a colored woman and the other one lives her life as a white woman, I believe. And it kind of shows their life and how different it is, even though they are twins. So that's really cool. And I'm really interested to see how this story goes. It's exciting. It's really exciting. Those were all the books that I either read last month or are planning to read this month and or have started already. So if you liked this video and if you made it this far, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And leave a comment down below and let me know what you're reading, what you've read, what you recommend, because I like to buy more books. It's an addiction, it's a problem, but it's a fun problem. So we're gonna continue doing it. And then make sure you guys subscribe so you guys can come back and we can always hang out and talk about more books. Love books. I lost my train of thought. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.